Hey there, what's going on? I'm Darieth Chisolm, and welcome to this episode of Hustle and Heart TV. What's life like as a very busy chef of an upscale restaurant? Well, would you be living your dream life if you had the opportunity to prepare and serve a meal to a president of the United States? And could you top it off as being an instructor at Le Cordon Bleu? That's called loving your journey, right? Well, my next guest, Chef Kevin Watson, didn't always have it that way. In fact, he spent 2 weeks of his life homeless here on the streets of Pittsburgh before turning it all around and hustling for his dream. This is one episode you don't want to miss, so sit down, dig deep, and take in this next episode of Hustle and Heart TV. Like so many entrepreneurs, I'm drawn to the glamorous, gorgeous, larger-than-life, iconic ideas and outcomes that represent success. I'm amazed at just what it takes to truly be a standout, a rock star, a millionaire, a trendsetter. It ain't easy, but somebody's got to do it. So why not you? I know it takes hard work and hustle to make things happen, but I also believe it's a matter of heart. We can manifest our greatest desires with a little less sweat equity and a little more divine guidance. Plus, be equally inspired by someone else's life story. I'm Darieth Chisolm. I'm here to help you unleash, unlock, and bloom your dreams in business and in life. I'm a speaker, author, entrepreneur, life and business coach, media personality, and video podcast host. Every week, my team and I uncover dynamic, authentic, heartfelt conversations to help you leverage tools and resources, make more money, live the lifestyle of your dreams, become a rock star, and love your journey. Chef, so excited about having you on Hustle and Heart TV. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me.
This is going to be a fabulous next half hour. This man is a wealth of information around food and loving food and preparing it and the business of food. So we're going to dive right into that. And tell me what the life of a busy chef is like.
Well, the life of a busy chef is very busy. To take you into a day in the life of what I do, I start out with ordering, food and things like that, and then there's scheduling and staffing, and the best part of my day is when I finally get into the kitchen to start cooking. That's where my passion is, and it really doesn't matter what I do as long as I'm next to a stove. I've been doing it all my life, over 25 years, right out of high school. And I've never tried anything else. I can't fix a computer, but I could, put me next to a stove and I'm happy. So
that's interesting that even as a young man, you knew your passion was food. I mean, and I think most of us obviously grow up with moms in the kitchen and, I mean, did you grow up with your mom in the kitchen and that was part of it, or where did that come from at such a young age?
Well, for me, it was my grandmother. My grandmother was my inspiration, and she was the best cook in our neighborhood. I'm going to say in the city where I grew up, in Erie, Pennsylvania, but she was just the best cook. And she had a job working at one of the community centers cooking. She would cook the lunches for the daycares that were there. So her style of cooking and her passion in cooking is what I picked up. I remember being about 7 years old on Thanksgiving morning making the stuffing or the dressing for Thanksgiving. And my job was the way she made it was you had to make toast. So I stood at the toaster all day pushing toast out and giving it to her, and she would break it up and put it in the dressing. And that was just like the best thing for me at 7 years old. But then when I got to taste it after I had touched it, and I was part of, making that stuffing, which was my favorite part of Thanksgiving, I was hooked.
That's an interesting relationship with food, the handling of it, the knowing that you've prepared it, the tasting it, the serving it. And that to me, is what the passion around food is. And of course now, many, many years later, you serve it up in this incredible restaurant, SAVOY, along with doing some catering. And so take us through that process, from being 7 to being a young man at 19, deciding this is what you want to do, to now being the chef at one of Pittsburgh's premier restaurants.
Well, it just continued. Every holiday, I just wanted to be a part of it. And a big part of my family, with my grandparents and my extended family, was just to get together on all the holidays. The 4th of July, Memorial Day, Christmas, it was always at their house. And what I started to realize was that food brings people together. And one of the best parts about being at that holiday was how our family got together, and it was always around food. And most of it was what my grandmother did, but then I had aunts that made their famous, 7-Up cake, and so everybody brought their best. But food, it was breaking bread that just kind of it was always there for us. So once I noticed that, once I kind of caught on to that, I started loving the fact that we're getting together and we're going to eat well.
Speaking of eating well, I'm going to want you to take us into the kitchen and show us what it takes to, make the magic happen, if you will. And we'll talk more about that. But let's talk just about eating well and this principle around serving fresh, good food. And I know that you're an advocate of that and would prefer that people eat more whole and rich foods. And so now, where does that come from? Because I think most people are like, oh, if it's going to be good, it's got to have butter and all of this other stuff. And yet you really talk about preserving nutrients in food and really providing for people in the sense that eating good food is important.
It is, and the thing about it is we literally are what we eat. And our goal is to try to provide the freshest, local as much as we can. And the thing that I do at SAVOY, I have a really small kitchen, so I shop every day. Literally, I shop every day. The good thing for our guests is that I shop every day. The kind of bad thing for me is that I have to shop every day. But we try to prepare our food and touch it as little as possible. Most of the food that we can get, if we can get it, is sustainable. I've gone back to school to become a health coach, so I'm learning a little bit more about nourishment in food and how to preserve the nourishment in food and what to use. But the biggest thing, I think, is that we have to be able to understand that we kind of do the damage to ourselves. And I cook for 200-300 people in a week, and I'm kind of charged with making sure that the best that I can, that I'm giving them wholesome and healthy food. And we're both lovers of kale, and so we, thanks to you, I have a great kale salad on the menu.
Yes, yes, yes.
So and I think if you prepare food in a very tasty way, people will be more adventurous. They'll try things, and they'll kind of step out their box a little bit. But it has to taste good.
Yeah.
And it has to look good.
Has to taste good, has to look good, and has to feel good in the body.
Has to feel good.
Yeah.
Has to feel good.
You got a long day. I mean, if you're getting up and you're shopping every day, I mean, in the restaurant, I mean, it's an industry that's pretty demanding, clearly. What kind of hours do you put in, and how do you manage your life in all of this?
Well, first of all, I have a great team. I have great support. So, I can't do it without having a good team. I have a great staff in the kitchen and even the front of the house staff. But so I have to give them credit for supporting me. But just starting out early, and there's nothing better when you can kind of walk down to the strip and hand-pick green beans, or hand-pick the cheeses that you want to serve for the evening. But just going through the course of the day, I don't know. I just love being in an environment. There's just something about the energy that a restaurant brings that I just love it.
And you're so laid back. I mean, it just, if you're in here at night, and clearly we're in here in the afternoon shooting, but it can be so comfortable but busy, and yet you come out after you've served or after you're preparing, you meet with your guests, you talk with them, and you just have this very calm presence about yourself. I would be throwing things out the window, like, get this done, and yet how do you do that? How do you maintain that?
I think it's, you can really never let anybody see you sweat. And if I'm calm, when we're really busy, the team will stay calm. But if I lose it, if I did something like that, then I think that it would throw them off of their game. So part of it is just, it's kind of like being a coach, and you just kind of manage the different segments or sectors of the kitchen, and you have to think fast. But I love coming out talking to my guests. I love to see who's here. I love to welcome them in. Every table to me is like a dinner party, so when I go over to a table and talk to some guests, it's their own little dinner party. And that night, they don't have to cook, they don't have to clean, they don't have to do the dishes. The one thing that I look forward to is for them to make a memory. We do a lot of anniversaries and birthday parties and things like that. So hopefully when they leave, they'll have a good memory, a good food memory, but a good memory together.
Great. Yeah. Speaking of memories, I want you to tell me about the memories you have of serving up a meal to one of our presidents. I think that is such a great honor, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And this wonderful gift of jade from Diamond, which is a special treat. So we've got more coming at you right after this next break. Are you interested in learning more about podcasting and video podcasting and how you can build your brand, influence, and income through podcasting? I'd be happy to help. In fact, you can schedule a complimentary discovery session with me. Really simple. Just go to podcastingandyou.com. Leave me your name and your email. You might want to check out one of my upcoming trainings as well, or simply send me an email at info@dariethchisolm.com, and we'll get some time scheduled to discover how podcasting can help you grow your business and your brand.
The award-winning SAVOY Restaurant has become synonymous with fine dining, upscale ambiance, and a great destination for local and national celebrities to enjoy the night in style. The SAVOY has won multiple Savor Pittsburgh Awards for its delicious menu. Our wine list was awarded Wine Spectator's 2012 Award of Excellence, and the SAVOY has also won the American Institute of Architects' People's Choice Award for its beautiful architecture and design. For dinner reservations and more info, log on to SAVOYPGH.com.
Are you looking for a career that pays great money, working with a fun group of people? I know, sounds too good to be true, right? Hi, I'm Troy Miles of the Miles Group.
We will train you, help you get your license, even supply leads. No cold calling.
I've been here 2 years and earned 6 figures this year.
I love my job.
I love the freedom and being my own boss.
If you would like to work among friends, have a great time, and make good money, call us.
Find out more at tmilesgroup.com.
Hi, I'm Jared Show, and I'm the director of Bigfoot the Movie, and you're watching Hustle and Heart TV with Darieth Chisolm.
So, Chef, you've had the honor to prepare food and serve food to a president, to George W. Bush.
I did.
That's great.
I did.
Yeah, how was that?
That was amazing. It was amazing. I can't imagine ever doing anything as big as that unless I cooked for the Pope. Outside of the president, I guess the Pope would be the next person. But we had the honor of being asked to cater a dinner. It was a fundraiser for then John McCain, and so we went through all the sequestering and sending in all of our information, and I've never seen anything like that. But it was something that you just can't forget. But he was great. He was fantastic.
That was a while ago. Do you remember what was on the menu?
It was, yes. We had beef tenderloin filet. We had a tuna tartar with a little wasabi mayonnaise. We had a fresh baked ham on the bone. and I'm pretty sure there were crab cakes. So.
What is your signature dish?
My signature dish here is roasted butternut squash, chocolate ravioli with a lobster basil cream sauce.
Oh, does that sound good? What's your signature dish at home?
My signature dish at home was probably lasagna.
Why?
My daughter loves
Your daughter,
lasagna.
yeah.
She loves lasagna.
Oh, that's great. Speaking of your daughter, Diamond, she recently gave you a gift of jade, and you carry that with you all the time.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. She gave me a jade turtle for Father's Day, and it's supposed to bring good energy. So I carry it every day, all the time, and I forget I have it sometimes until I reach in my pocket for a mint or my keys or some change. And she said, you know, that turtles they're independent. They carry their homes on their back. And I said, really? She said, yeah, really. I said, well, I think I'm going to keep him. So his name is Bob Marley, and I keep Bob Marley with me.
Did you name him or she named him?
I named him.
Yeah. Why Bob Marley?
Because I like Bob Marley
Yeah.
music. And he's kind of cool. He's laid back like Bob Marley.
And Bob Marley, he carried his home on his back,
That's right.
and he traveled around the world, you know, preaching his mission of love. So that's
right.
interesting. Yeah. But more so, you know, your daughter giving you this and just the energy that it brings to you. Do you feel like that is what keeps you centered and focused throughout the day and in the busy life of a chef and an entrepreneur?
I do. It's my family. You know, it's taking care of my family and providing for my family and setting a good example for my family. I was a culinary instructor at Le Cordon Bleu for 8 years, and you know, there's nothing more satisfying than kind of watching a student who basically couldn't really make a bowl of cereal taste good, to then being able to put combinations of food together, and then they're able to go out into the world and contribute and be a part of the industry and be a part of society and be a part of our world. So I love to be able to help others and give back and just, you know, see people grow.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing better than watching someone grow into what they can become.
There's nothing better than that. And you know, I, as a certified coach, and clearly I know that you're a health coach, there's something to be said about supporting people's desires to be the best that they want to be in life, and to really help them dig deep and find out what it is that makes them happy, particularly obviously around business, but also in life, and then supporting them in their mission to doing that. And there's something to be said about watching people grow after you've helped them plant the seed, to be there to help them grow it.
Yeah, that's right. Because some people plant the seed, some people water, and then it's up to them to kind of, you know, blossom. You know, but being part of that process is just phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely. So in your experience as a chef who has a catering business, who clearly now is developing a health coaching business, there's this level of entrepreneurial spirit and energy that you have to bring to not only fixing food, but then meeting with your guest. What would you encourage someone who's interested in being a chef, who perhaps says, yeah, I want to cook, but I also want to experience the other nuances that I might be able to develop from the standpoint of being a business owner? What would you give them as practical advice around that?
I think I would tell them to get the best training that you can possibly get. You have to have experts around you, people who have been in the business and in the industry, people who have knowledge of the industry and wisdom of the industry. And I think you first have to kind of surround yourself with great instruction, great instructors, and you have to have passion, you have to have desire, because you can't really teach that. You know, that has to be something that you carry with you, and to then get some experience. You know, try to get the best experience that you can get.
And what about this notion of failing? Because, you know, in business and in life, we don't always win. There are times that we face challenges, and sometimes we have to fail a little in order to grow a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I think failing is an opportunity to look at what we can do better, you know, because you can always improve. and you can't win all the time, you know, as much as we like to. But I think we have to look at failure as an opportunity to grow. You know, it makes you stronger. You know, it shows whether or not you can get up and you can keep fighting and you can keep trying. And a try beats a failure any day.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
Yeah.
Life for you, as we talk about it, is involving into these different aspects, health coach, you know, looking at ways to continue to market your catering company, of course, being here at Savoy and busy. What does 5 years look like? 10 years?
Wow. 5 years, I could see Savoy expanding into a couple different locations. I see a thriving health coach practice. I see a thriving catering business. And I could see also having a lot of people around me that I'm helping them to fulfill their goals and dreams as they're helping me fulfill mine. So just kind of having taking what we're doing right now to the next level at Savoy. We have a food truck, so that's new and that's fun. But just really just kind of helping people get there.
You use the word "see" about 4 or 5 times. So, would you call yourself a visionary? When you set goals, is it because you have a really strong sense of vision around it and imagery around it?
Yeah, I do. I think you have to be able to see what you can become, and a lot of that is from being an instructor, because you have to be able to show them where you came from. And I came to Pittsburgh in 1991 with my cousin, and when we got here, we struggled a little bit, and we were homeless for 2 weeks. And I remember eating popcorn for 2 weeks, and so clearly we got over that. But you have to share your story, and you know, there's no perfect path, but it's your path. And you have to be able to show people that it doesn't matter where you come from, you can make it. The best thing about cooking, it is the equalizer. It doesn't matter where you come from, how tall you are, how short you are. If you can flat out cook, you'll be successful. And if you have passion in that, you'll be successful.
I want to talk more about your life in the streets for 2 weeks here in Pittsburgh when you first came, and the struggle that you faced and how you clearly have overcome that, and to go from being homeless for even a short period of time and eating popcorn to now kale and caviar is a big jump. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. And we're going to do it in the kitchen. So we'll pack up from here and head into the kitchen. You can tell me more about that then.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you looking for a way to advertise your business, product, or service? Why not do it here on Hustle and Heart TV? We'd be happy to send you our media kit for show sponsorship and advertising. Reach out to us at info@dariethchisolm.com or give us a call at 412-692-1600 and we'll send you a media kit with all the information. When it comes to food, family, and tradition, Atria's is your dining destination. Atria's has a passion for food, and it all starts with our culinary trained chefs. From the made-from-scratch rubs and dressings to the best in the burr crab cakes, Atria's prides itself in serving honest and real food. Come and see what makes us different at one of our 8 locations. We're now offering private dining, to-go, and full-service catering. Don't miss our 17th annual Oktoberfest starting September 8th, where you'll enjoy the most authentic German cuisine that Pittsburgh has to offer. Atria's, we're always changing courses.
Welcome to the Pittsburgh Marriott City Center, where all of your meeting, events, and travel needs can be met.
I'm Christina Stanley, and I handle the corporate market here at the Pittsburgh Marriott City Center. While corporate conferences can usually be very structured, our high energy and creative staff can make the experience memorable and unique for all your attendees. Also, if you're a new business or company in the area, please contact me for special corporate rates.
Check us out online on Facebook at Pittsburgh Marriott City Center or call today at 412-471-4000 to make your next event brilliant.
Hello, I'm Nancy Mosser. I'm a casting director and owner of Mosser Casting, and we cast actors and extras for corporate videos and other projects. I'll see you on the next episode of Hustle and Heart TV with Darieth Chisolm.
Chef, you got me in your favorite place, right in front of a stove.
Yes, right.
Fire, fire.
Yes, welcome to my factory.
Yeah, you make some magic happen in here.
Yes. So this is where I love. I mean, this is where I love to be. I spend most of my time here, you know. So, you know, being around metal and stove and fire, you know, give me that, I'm happy.
Yeah, but you know, it wasn't always that way. I mean, during the last segment, you shared with us that 2 weeks homeless. I mean, 2 minutes homeless can certainly be challenging, but to spend 2 weeks on the streets of Pittsburgh and eating popcorn, I mean, what happened? How did you get to that?
Well, me and my cousin, we were moving from my hometown, changing our life, you know, in our early 20s, and we had a friend that we were staying here with, and it didn't work out, so we had to move out, and we had no money. We just got here, nowhere to go, nowhere to stay, so literally we just kind of slept in the car, you know, and it was in the middle of winter, one of the worst winters they had in Pittsburgh at that time in March. So we just stuck together, you know. We didn't have much, but we had each other, you know, so we were able to kind of get a couple paychecks under our belt and kind of get an apartment and stay with another friend after that. But you know, we got through it.
You had hustle back then.
Yeah, I had hustle.
You had to hustle.
Yeah.
And even the days and the weeks and the years after that, I mean, that led from being in what some would imagine a very desperate situation to you living a dream and living a life that, you know, took you to becoming an instructor at Cordon Bleu and, you know, having your own catering company. How did all that transition for you after being homeless?
Well, when we came here, I knew that I wanted to be somebody. And when we first got here, the first day we got here, I asked my cousin to drive up to Mount Washington, and I'll never forget it. We're looking over the overlook, and you know, it was dusk, sun's going down, and I turned to him and I said, one day people are gonna know my name. I said, nobody knows I'm here right now. I said, but one day people are gonna know my name in this city. So it's just, you know, it's this drive and, you know, just wanting to become something, you know, and cooking was all I knew. So I came from a small town to a little bit more of a metropolitan just to see where I could stack up, you know.
Wow, that's incredible. And now people do know your name. In fact, your name associated with this restaurant, Savoy, and its owners, Chuck Sanders and John Bettis. And how did all of that happen for you?
Well, I got a phone call, a voicemail message from John Bettis. And John said, my name is John Bettis. I'm opening up a restaurant in the Strip with Chuck Sanders. We want to talk to you about it. And we played phone tag a little bit, and we finally connected. We met at the Starbucks in Shadyside next to Whole Foods. So John comes in and we shake hands, and he gives me his card. I give him my card. And I looked at the card and I said, I have to ask you, are you related to Jerome? And I was Jerome's private chef for 2 years, 2 years prior to that. And he said, yeah. He said, Jerome's my little brother. I said, really? I said, I used to cook for him. And he said, I remember at a dinner. And we're like, yeah. So we made that connection. So he asked me if I would be interested in opening up a restaurant with him and Chuck Sanders. And I said, John, I don't know if I can do that. I said, I'm a private chef. I'm teaching at Le Cordon Bleu, and I have a catering business. I don't know if I can fit that in my life. So he said, well, will you consult on the business? And I said, yeah. He said, we'll pay you. I said, even better. So we left, and he called he called me on my way home. I was almost home, and he said, I just got off the phone with Jerome and Tramika, and he was following up on me. And he said they said hi, and Jerome said, do whatever you have to do to get that guy. So from that point, I met with Chuck, and Chuck's a great guy, larger than life guy, and he kind of talked me into coming to Savoy. And it's been great ever since.
Yeah, you guys have really created magic, and it obviously starts here in the kitchen, but the influence in the community, as well as the wonderful place to come and dine and socialize and have drinks, and just really a great gathering place. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can sense that the energy is very much that, and it clearly comes from you setting the stage back here in your kitchen, delivering it out to the people who your guests in the dining area.
Yeah. I'm very fortunate. I'm blessed. Yeah.
And that's a wonderful thing to be able to see those blessings and count them and count them well. When you think about young people that are coming up who might be struggling, who are at perhaps a sense of doubt and worry and fear about what to do next, or whether or not their dreams are going to come true, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to just don't give up. Don't give up on your dream. You're the only one that can really make your dream come true, and you just have to, keep fighting and keep trying and try again, because if you give up, it'll never happen. And I was there, for a brief time. I was there, and all I knew is that I wanted to be a chef. All I knew is I just wanted to be a good chef, and then the rest just kind of happened.
So dreaming big, daring to take challenge, getting out there, making it happen, hustle,
yes.
My favorite word, right? All the things that you need, all the ingredients that you need to have a well-prepared life, huh?
Yes, yeah. You got to hustle. You got to hustle.
Yeah, well, we certainly appreciate having you on the show. It's been such a delight to spend time with you in the kitchen, in the restaurant, and for you sharing your story. I mean, I think one of the most important ways that we can teach people about being inspired and living a good life is just by hearing other people's stories. So thanks for opening up to us, Chef.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And we certainly appreciate you being here for this episode of Hustle and Heart TV. Be sure to continue to watch us and stay tuned to your email as we continue to send you incredible episodes of Hustle and Heart TV. CTC Booking Travel and Entertainment Cruise Productions, the world's leader in full-ship charter music cruises, announces 5 cruises featuring the best in jazz music entertainment. The Signature Cruise, Smooth Jazz Cruise, the Jazz Cruise, 80s Cruise, and Gospel Music Cruise. Sail for 7 days with the finest music and entertainment artists in the world. Go to jazzcruisecatalog.com and book your cruise today. The success in selling your home and getting the right price lies in the crux of your agent's ability to maximize your home's exposure to the largest number of qualified buyers. Each year, Dion Malish helps a family buy or sell a home every 5.5 days, so she's confident that her proven home selling strategies will sell your home. Dion and her team are not your traditional real estate agents. Unlike many agents who pound a yard sign, post to the MLS, then sit back and wait for your home to sell itself, Dion uses a proven, repeatable system to sell your home for up to 18% more in less time. Dion recently published 25 tips for selling a home in Pittsburgh, which is also available on Amazon. If you're thinking of selling your home, you can get a free copy by visiting www.25tipspittsburgh.com. You can also contact her at 724-554-3514 or email her at dion@northwood.com.